Hey guys, welcome to today's video with the Maresa Ng official channel where we help businesses to grow. So today's question that I have for you today is, how many of you have been in business for a while and you're wondering if you're being priced competitively? So guys, today's video I'm going to talk a little bit about how you identify if you're underpriced or overpriced, or are you competitive. Now, there is no one cut answer. There's one cat answer to this, because why? There are many businesses out there, many different industries. Even within the same industry, there are many different niches, many different specialities, many different businesses that also target different types of customers. So it's all about identifying some of the key areas of what will allow you to identify how well you're priced and whether you're competitive and whether you can increase your price. Now that's a really interesting part here. So I'm going to show you 3 ways on how you do this. Number 1 is to check out your competition. Check out your competitors. Now this is of course something that we all know, you know, a lot of us all know this, and a lot of business owners don't do this enough. You know, they're holed up in their business and they're doing their own thing, they are reacting to customers. So a very proactive thing that you could do is that you could check out your check out your competitors. Now when you check out your competitors, don't just check out the ones that are locally, check out even the ones that are similar to you, but they are perhaps abroad, they're overseas, they're in Australia, they're in Vietnam, and what are they doing there? So there are a few things that you can check out with your competitors. Number 1 is see what they sell. See what they sell, what are their product lines, what are their service lines, number 1. Number 2, what they charge for each and every one of this. Now you'll have to be able to account for the foreign exchange as well. You gotta maybe tweak the currency a little bit. Number 3, who are their customers? Now when you do a lot of research on your competitors, trust me, you're going to be able to have a whole new light to your own services, your own products, and whether you are competitive. And you might find out, wow, everybody is charging a whole lot more than I am. Wow, this is nice. And there you go, you can start increasing price. But again, how you increase the price, there's a strategy to this. Number 2, and how you can find out, is ask your customers. Ask your own customers, the people that have been doing business with you, people that have been doing business with you over and over again. You know, ask them good questions, you know. Not so good question is to ask, hey, do you think we are expensive or cheap, yeah? Ugh, if you ask that question, it's just going to send a very weird message to your customer. But you know, you're asking a closed-ended question, a question where they have no choice but to choose either expensive or cheap. You know, ask better questions. Questions like, you know, we've seen you over and over again in our store. You know, what else would you buy around here? You know, find out what other lines of products they would be buying. You know, do some research. Another very good question, you know, well, we've seen you around and you've been coming to our store for the last year. You know, what keeps you coming back? You know, what keeps you coming back? You know, that's a very nice question, but you know, a lot of business owners are really too afraid to ask this question. You know, they're really too afraid to ask this question. Why? Because they think that if they ask that question, so why do you keep coming back? You know, they think that the customer will be like, yeah, I don't know why I keep coming back. Yeah, maybe I should go somewhere else. You know, they think that they're going to give this customer a rude realization that they should be going somewhere else to do business, you know, to buy their gear or to get their kids swimming lessons. You know, they are so afraid. But when you ask this question, why do you keep coming back? Why do you continue sending your kids, your second, your third child over to us? You know, you find some real answers about what they appreciate about you and why they are doing business with you. And number 3, this is a really big one, but I know a very small fraction of people will do it. Yeah, very small fraction, is to ask prospects that did not buy. Wow, that's a very big one. A lot of people resist from doing this. And I know a lot of people, when the prospects don't buy, they go into this instant disappointment. Oh my gosh, why did they buy? Oh, you know, they go into this instant disappointment when actually, if a prospect did not buy, it is a perfect opportunity to ask them, Why did you not buy? You know, as it is, you don't get the sale. You might as well get something out of it, which is to identify what was the real reason. And when you ask them the real reason, you know, why didn't you buy? You know, you came in here, you looked at many different options. You know, was it the price? Were you concerned about the quality? Were you concerned about speed? And just for your information, when you ask that question, the prospects that didn't buy, they're just gonna go, it's the price, too expensive. I don't have a budget for this. You're gonna get answers like that. But because, you see, that's your first answer. If I may, and you have customers like that and you're gonna have this conversation with them, so Mr. Prospect, let's just say it's not price. Is there anything else that is influencing your decision to buy? Take that out of the equation and see what their second and third answer is. You see, customers are always that way. Why? Because it's always price against value, and we all know price is not equal to value. So what is it that they're looking at? And assuming you take this out of the equation, what else is influencing your decision right now? Those answers are going to determine very, very hard whether you're underpriced or whether you're overpriced for what your offerings are. So there you have it, guys. I hope this helps. I know some of you are actually looking at increasing your price or adjusting your price or adding more offerings, and you don't know where to start, what to price at. And if you have that flexibility, of course, you're looking at perhaps a current product and you want to increase the price of the current product. And after all your research, you go, why is it that other people out there are charging way more than me? You know, perhaps I could be charging more too. Now, before you increase your price, of course, there's a lot of strategy to it. You can't do it overnight because number one, you got to manage your current customers. You got to manage your current expectations. You also got to manage if the new customers come in, they are priced at a lot higher, and they're going to be talking to your current customers as well and saying, hey, I didn't pay that much. You're going to have to be able to manage this. Now, what I'm trying to say is there's all the strategy to this. Don't do it overnight, because that way, if you do it overnight without a clear strategy, when you increase price, there's going to be some level of correlation or resistance from customers because less people will buy. That's economics, yeah? But this is the thing, when you increase price, there's always a step-by-step to it. I cover this in one of my webinars. In fact, if some of you are looking at how to do this well, how to get the strategy right without killing some of your current customer portfolio, do join one of my webinars. It's inside the YouTube, this description at the bottom, where you can be able to understand a little bit more on some of the criteria and the effects, and how do you do this gradually without killing some of your portfolio or having such a high decrease in revenue. Now, of course, when you increase price, you're going to be able to make more profit, but that increase in profit has got to be a calculation against a possible decrease in revenue. So those are some of the things that you got to be able to look at. I cover that in more detail in my webinar. But of course, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like this if you like it, and share it for anybody that you think that, share this video if you think some people out there are saying, I'm a little bit cheap, I'm not sure what to do. And of course, subscribe to the Maresa Ng official channel if you want to be able to get more insights like this. Because guys, remember this, sometimes we work really, really hard. We work really, really hard for each dollar, and sometimes to put the same effort in to be able to get $2 or $3 or $5 more. That's where you get a more profitable and sustainable business. And remember this, it's all about having a great business and a great life, because business is about having more life. Take care, and I'll see you next week.